DLP, episode number 3. You know what? It's me. It's Rami. We're here. You know what, man? I just got off a flight from Houston to Arizona, bro. I wake up, and Deandre Hopkins just followed me from Houston to Arizona. What are your thoughts, Rami?
So I'm just going to take you through my thought process from when I first saw the report, what I was thinking, what I was expecting, all that. So I woke up, and I see the report on my phone. I see a notification, where people are saying Hopkins could be traded. He could be traded, but bro, I see this every year. I see this same report every year. So I'm thinking, whatever, bro. This is a bunch of BS. I'm not even thinking about it.
Right.
I'm thinking about, the start of the new league year. I'm thinking about the real stuff that's going to happen. But then...
Right, we got a brand new CBA. You know what I'm saying? 17 regular season games, an extra playoff team. This is a lot of big stuff going on in the NFL right now.
Yeah, and other big free agents, trade candidates, whatever. So then I start to think, okay, if we were to trade Hopkins for some reason, I want to get, at the least, can I at least get 2 first-round picks? Is that asking for too much?
I think the Texans came into the situation. It's much like what the Jaguars were expecting.
And by the way, his contract is really generous.
Yeah, no. It's super generous for it to be $12 million around there when you got Odell Beckham making 19. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a super generous contract, and then you pick up David Johnson's contract, who's only $1 million less than Hopkins, and he's a washed running back on the back end of his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Johnson just isn't the same player. Last year, he just didn't look as explosive. Got outplayed by Kenyon Drake. A lot of people are going to point to the injury problems. But my thing is the fit in Houston. I mean, Houston does a lot of zone run concepts. I mean, I like what they do in terms of running the ball. They make Carlos Hyde. He had a career year there in Houston. But my thing is, why are you investing in the running back spot? Houston had 2 running backs. They actually had 3. You know what I mean? In some situations with
Tywan Jones,
with Irvin, Tywan Jones was out there, and he offers some ability in the receiving game. You have Duke Johnson, you have Carlos Hyde. I totally just do not understand the acquisition of David Johnson. Maybe it's a dump by the Cardinals. Yeah. But I mean, the Houston Texans just got totally fleeced here. Bill O'Brien put on his best Dave Gettleman impersonation, and
Bill O'Brien is the
insane.
worst.
Yeah, I don't even know what they're going to do with him at this point. The disappointing playoff losses, I mean, some fans can understand why they're keeping him. He's getting them to the playoffs. But at this point, it's just, you're content with mediocrity. I don't know what Bill O'Brien's plan is for right now. The Texans are, quote, in draft hell. So, I mean, they wanted some more draft capital, and you only get a second-round pick. You lost your 4th rounder. You get a 4th rounder in 2021.
I'm saying you get the best receiver. So, you're giving up the best receiver in the game. And you don't even get the number 8 pick, but you get a washed running back with a terrible contract and a 2nd-round pick.
It's sad for the Texans at this point. I don't understand what the sense of direction is here. This is how I was feeling.
And I blame Cal McNair for this, to be honest. You hired Bill O'Brien for this GM or whatever.
Yeah, you gave him the GM spot. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, speaking of one receiver being traded, we see Hopkins go to Arizona. We've got a whole bunch of other trade candidates that are some huge names, but let's talk about this Hopkins deal a little bit from the Arizona perspective.
Yep.
From the Cardinals perspective. A lot of people were talking about CeeDee Lamb becoming that number 1 receiver at number 8 overall and being picked there. Now the Cardinals, to me, they get prime CeeDee Lamb. What do you think about the fit of Hopkins along with the young quarterback and a young head coach?
Man, that's amazing. You saw how good of a year Kyler had, with those receivers. Now you add Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald coming back for another year. And with that number 8 pick, I mean, they're most likely going to get a tackle to fix the offensive line. Man, that's a beautiful fit for Arizona. Total steal. I know Hopkins is ecstatic, unlike Watson and Texans fans. But, yeah, man, I love that pick.
I feel like Hopkins has a lot of reason to be super excited. He gets to play in a division with a person he loves to compete against in Jalen Ramsey again. They're going to be back in the same division.
Yeah.
And so that'll be a lot of fun to watch for them. But Houston Texans fans, I mean, they've got to be looking forward to something too. Who are some prospects that you think in the 2nd round with this new pick that the Texans got could be available for them and could be the next great Texans receiver?
I don't know about next great Texans receiver, but for now, just a receiver to fill the void. And I think the second round pick that the Texans got was I think it's pretty early. So I want to go with my guy Jalen Reagor, who I loved coming out of college. To come to my favorite team. You look at a guy like Brandon Ayuk, Chase Claypool, but obviously they won't be. You're getting a second round talent here. They're not going to be Hopkins, but
right.
But with Fuller being injured all the time, same with Stills, QT. Maybe you get a rookie in there. You see the offensive line is getting better. So I don't think the Texans are doomed, but they're not going to be any better than last year.
Yeah, I don't think they're doomed. I think that it also depends interdivision. I think the Titans almost just guaranteed their failure for the next 3 to 4 years with the signing of Ryan Tannehill. Reminding me a bit of the
we're going
Nick
to talk
Foles
about
signing.
that later.
Yeah, reminding me a bit of the Nick Foles signing, but I feel like the Texans, there isn't a whole lot of, you know what I'm trying to say here. There isn't a whole lot of pressure on the Texans within the division. You know what I'm saying? They have control over the division at times. In the regular season, they fall apart against divisional opponents at times, and we even saw them fall apart against the Colts a couple of years ago in the divisional round.
Yeah.
But and so I feel like for the Houston Texans, they're not doomed because of the incompetence within their division as well. So I think they'll be fine from that standpoint. I don't think this is going to help them get over the hump at all. It adds nothing. If you're a team in the Houston Texans who had a chance to go to the AFC Championship. You were up 24-0. To me, that's a win now. That's a win now team. You're talking about draft capital and trading away some of your best players in a win now situation. You're moving backwards. It's backwards thinking, and I do not understand how Bill O'Brien has a general managing job in the NFL. It makes no sense at all. You know what? We're talking about receivers the Texans could target in the second round. A guy I like a lot is Denzel Mims. He's a Texas kid out of Baylor. That would be a nice pickup for the Houston Texans because right now Will Fuller is your number one receiver. And Kenny Stills your number two. It's just outright.
Yeah, your number one receiver plays an average of about 8-9 games a season.
Exactly.
It's just terrible. Like you were mentioning about, the Texans having a good grasp on the division. Maybe so, but not for long. The Colts are a better run, but
for sure, definitely better run. The Colts are probably the only team in that division that knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone else just runs around like chickens with their heads cut off, and I don't understand it at all.
All right, so we're giving an opportunity for call-ins. Our first call-in is Houston, Texas resident and our good friend Tanner Calhoun. Now, Tanner, I want to ask you initial thoughts on the trade.
Horrible. This is the worst day of Texans franchise history. This is worse than the 24.0 lead blown to Patrick Mahomes. This is horrible. I could not believe that Bill O'Brien is the GM of the Houston Texans. He fleeced the Texans out of everything. Draft picks. Out of last year, we traded our first round draft picks away for nothing. Little to nothing impact. And now you're telling me you trade a top 3 receiver in the league like DeAndre Hopkins and you pair him up with Kyler Murray now? And now Deshaun Watson's best option is an injury-prone first option, Will Fuller. And then you talked about a second option, Kenny Stills, a very overrated guy. What is this? This is not Madden. And then Bill O'Brien is making moves like this is Madden. And then the third option is Kiki QT. What is that, Texans?
another injury-prone player, Calhoun.
Other injury-prone player. So what do you have? Your best receiver is only going to play 5 games. Your second best receiver is only going to give you 300 yards receiving on the year. And your third best receiver is not even going to suit up. So what is this? And you tell me you don't even get a first rounder.
Banner. Through this trade, if the Texans were actually to trade DeAndre Hopkins and they came to you, say you were the GM, what would be the return value that you wanted to get for Hopkins?
Well, first of all, if I'm the GM, DeAndre Hopkins isn't going nowhere. Just let's make that clear. But if
you got to say at least 2 first rounders, right? At least.
If you have a top 3 talent, if we look at what Odell went for last year, it has to at least at the bare minimum has to be a player and 2 first round picks.
Whoa.
It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. You're telling me you have a top 3 talent at the position in the league paired up with Deshaun Watson, and you trade him for a second rounder and the next year 4th rounder, and a guy who didn't even start in the second half of the season?
And then you trade away your 4th rounder. So you basically gave away D-Hop for a 2nd round pick.
Basically, this year, you gave away D-Hop for an injury-prone running back and a 2nd round pick. So basically, your offense is Deshaun Watson and a bunch of injury-prone cats. That's basically what the Texans. That's what the Texans are working with.
All right, so Tanner, bro, to be honest, Tanner, like, I think I still would have been mad if we got the 8th pick, but like that would have been way better, right?
Yes.
Hey, get CeeDee Lamb.
Yes, if we got 8 picks, if we get 8 picks, I might say we can get CD or Jerry Jeudy, or maybe the Texans really decide that O-line is a real need. Maybe we go O-line. Maybe we trade up and get something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at the Texans.
The fact that you just lose your receiver now the narrative of the Houston Texans was the offense was great, but the defense. Now it's gonna be the defense, the O-line is not good, and the receiving core is not good. The only good thing for the Texans is number 4. They need to trade Deshaun Watson to go into total rebuilding mode. That's how
total rebuild mode. That's how you feel. And
no, I think Deshaun Watson doesn't even deserve this. You know, like it's not even like that. Just like get him out of here, so then I can officially stop being a Texans fan. Like
yeah, so I can officially stop being a fan.
Right. So that's what I was gonna ask you to. Starting now, next season, are you guys returning as fans of the Houston Texans?
Of course, because Deshaun Watson
is still there, bro.
So I
respect it.
Just when I see Deshaun Watson make plays, it just, I still watch his Buffalo Bills highlights to this day. And this happened 3 months ago. So I'm still going to be a Texan fan. It's just going to be very hard for me to say Super Bowl contender. It'll be very hard for me to even say 7th seed.
7th seed?
Like, I got the Texans probably finishing 3rd in their division.
I can see that. Titans and Colts ahead of them.
Titans and Colts ahead of them without a doubt. I think that's without a doubt now. It was questionable at first, but now it's without a doubt that they're ahead of the Texans.
You think Titans win the division?
I think Titans go 10-6 and win the division. Texans go 4-12 and go 3rd in the division.
Tanner, another question I had for you. The Ryan Tannehill signing within the division, we know you're a Houston native. We know you're a Houston Texans fan. Do you think that the signing of Ryan Tannehill for the Tennessee Titans, do you think it brings anything for that team? You think it bursts their upside a little bit?
I feel like it doesn't bring anything much because I don't see anything special about Ryan Tannehill. I do feel like they're going to definitely win the division now because the Texans lost to DeAndre Hopkins, but I definitely don't see why they gave that man that much money. If I was them, I would have let him walk, and you could get any random quarterback on the street, and you would still be the same, and you would still have the same impact that they had last year. 6th seed, maybe 7th seed, and bounce first out. They got lucky.
Find a quarterback that can hand the ball off.
If the over-under of
your offense is very one-dimensional, it's all through Derrick Henry. You need to be focusing on paying Derrick Henry the big bucks. I think they must have mistaken Ryan Tannehill for Derrick Henry. That's what I thought he was, because that just didn't make any sense to me. That they franchised the best player on the team, but they signed Ryan Tannehill to like he's QB1 numbers. It just doesn't make sense.
Tanner, 9 wins, under or over?
For which team?
Texans.
Under.
Wow. So you're saying Texans can go 8-8 next year, 7-9 next year?
I say 7-9.
Wow. And that's a huge drop off. Thank you for joining us here, Mr. Calhoun. I mean, Tanner's going to be a voice in a lot of our videos. I mean, he's a great guy. He knows a lot about the sport. You guys will hear from him more.
There's going to be some episodes where he's not even the call-in. He's just going to be featured for sure.
Yeah, he's just going to be featured in the episode. So definitely see you guys next time on this bit.
Yep.
I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you.
Yes, sir.